everyone! I wanted to talk to you today about how to find wheelchair accessible trails wherever you may happen to be in the United States. And the thing is everyone can benefit from going outside and enjoying that time in nature, whether it is because you're looking to define your purpose and discover your values like I talk about, or it's just because you feel good out there for whatever reason. Everyone deserves that benefit, and there are places, lots of places that are also getting on board with that understanding, whether it's stress reduction or whatever other benefits. Places are really starting to embrace that idea and recognizing that even people who use a wheelchair are entitled to those same benefits. And so there are a lot more wheelchair accessible trails out there than there used to be. Now, while I don't personally use a wheelchair, at least not yet, I have friends who do, and my body lives with fibromyalgia every day, so wheelchair accessible trails are sometimes just a little easier for my body to handle. So what exactly is a wheelchair accessible hiking trail anyways, right? So there's three kind of big things to look at. The first is the parking lot. Depending on where you're hiking, I have experienced parking lots that are so big, they're like a hike in and of themselves, to ones that are super, super small and don't really necessarily have space for like the van to do whatever it needs to do to get wheelchairs on and off, to ones that actually have specific designated wheelchair accessible spots. And depending on your wheelchair and your needs, that parking lot may or may not matter. The physical aspects of the trail are super important, right? You don't want one that is super steep, so it needs to have a fairly flat, it can have a little, hilliness, but we're not talking, big grades of steep here. Fairly flat. It should be constructed of some sort of material that is easy for a wheelchair to roll along. And again, depending on your type of wheelchair and the type of tires, those materials may vary somewhat. And then the other thing is the width of it, right? Again, depends on your chair. Some are really beefy and wide. Some aren't that much bigger than your body, but you've got to make sure it's wide enough for your chair and for people to pass, whether it's because they want to get around you or because they're coming the other direction and need to get by you. You want to make sure there's space for that. And then the third thing is a rest area of some kind. A lot of places will talk about having benches for seating or whatever. Now, clearly, if you're in a wheelchair, you're not going to be using the benches for seating, but it's a good indication if there are benches that there's a place that you will be able to pull off to the side and have a spot to rest if you need to. So now that we know kind of what to look for, how do we find those wheelchair accessible hiking trails wherever you happen to be? I'm aware of two really great resources for this. So the first one is called TrailLink. And TrailLink has actually on their website a specific link for wheelchair accessible hiking in every state. Or at least I think it's every state. Most of them anyway. The issue there is, although it is fairly comprehensive, it doesn't include every single trail. So depending on your specific needs, there might be additional trails you could explore that you're not going to find on that list. I will put that link down in the comments for you though. And then the other one is called All Trails. And All Trails has, I don't want to say every trail in the US because people do have to submit their trails to it to get them listed on there. So it's probably not every trail, but it's a lot of them. It's the vast majority of them. And if you expand it out, as you can see in this screen capture, you can look at the description for whatever trails, and it specifically lists off the stuff about the parking area and the materials it's made on, and every trail that is in there also includes their elevation gain and length and all of that. So you'll be able to make some fairly educated decisions about if that trail is going to work for you and your wheelchair needs. Both All Trails and TrailLink also have apps for Android and iPhone. So if you you just don't have a computer or you want to be able to take it with you, that's a great option. I don't know about the TrailLink app because I've never used it, but the AllTrails app, you can also, when you find the trail, you can click directions and it actually bounces you over to your map application and gets you right to the parking area most of the time, or at least pretty close. It's very cool in that regard, at least for someone like me who gets lost a lot. And I believe both of them have the ability to actually show you the map of the trail. So if you're like me and you can get lost in a brown bag, it's nice to have that handy in your pocket to just be like, oh, I have to bear left here, or oh, I'm going right here, or oh, keep going straight. It's super helpful. So I definitely suggest checking both of those out if you're looking for handicap accessible trails in your area. If you have other questions about trail accessibility or how getting out on a trail can benefit you, please let me know. I'm always here to help. I will see you soon.